Hey, welcome to All In with Soren Patterson. I am Soren Patterson, and it's been a minute since we last talked. I went quiet because life sent me a curveball that no one's really ready for. My family suffered an absolutely devastating loss. I got a call in the middle of the night that my niece was murdered, that my brother had to call me and tell me that his daughter was dead. And no, do not immediately jump in the airplane and be here the next day, because that was actually a good part of that phone call. And then getting ready to go to be with the family, and hopped on the plane and I made it home. At the same time, my ladies had to stay behind just because of circumstances and the way things ran. And being home was important on so many levels, because it's really easy to let communication lapse when you're across the ocean. Heck, it's even to do when you live in the same bloody state. So being there and not just renewing, but rejuvenating and letting go of all the BS that gets in the way of our relationships, and realizing that it's all dross, and that the care and the love and what's important for all of us is really still there. And I just wasn't looking at it as hard as I could have been. Kaylee had just turned 21. She wasn't even a full month into her 21st year of life. And I have known that young lady since she was 3 years old. I have been absolutely amazingly proud to wear the appellation of Uncle Will to her and her sisters and her brothers, and for all of everybody else in our found family. We did push-ups together, all of us and the girls, in a doggone shoe store, just because we all thought it was hilarious. She had a very odd sense of humor, but a very great sense of wit. She was adventurous, she was kind, and she was my niece and his daughter and her daughter. And she died because of domestic violence. It was a murder-suicide. Her significant other took her life and then took his own. My time at home helped me process my grief way better than probably any other time I've processed grief. The kick in the head was, while I am mourning the loss of my niece, I was preparing to celebrate the life of my daughter. Because immediately upon my return, we were celebrating her birthday. This is what you would call emotional whiplash. Because each day that I was in the States, I was trying to find time to be supportive, to be present, to think through the freaking ramifications of everything. And then on the flip side, think about how my kiddo's turning her next day, 4 years old, and how amazing she is. Domestic violence is one of the absolute worst types of violence. And I have seen more than my share, probably more than your share in some cases, of violence throughout my life. And I don't mean just war. But war is different. You're going on a cause, on the behalf of a nation to help something. Hopefully it's a noble reason, but you're there, and war is hell. But domestic violence, in many regards, is worse. Because the reason why it's called domestic violence is because it's perpetrated by someone who purports to love you and that you love. This was someone that she cared for, that she had given her heart with, and she was sharing her life. So when you really think about that, when it's someone's love that turns that way, that's pretty bad. And it needs to bloody stop. But the only way it stops is if you see something, you say something. And it's such a doggone cliche statement, but it's the bloody truth. If you see it, say something. Provide an out, provide presence, provide support in any way you can that enables the person who's there to get out. Sometimes it's overt, sometimes it's showing up in the middle of the night and moving somebody out. Sometimes it's just sitting with them on the couch, letting them come to terms with everything and helping them reach that point of courage to leave. There are so many ways we can help. So do it. I mentioned that of all the grievances and griefs in my life, this is the one that I've processed the best. One, through experience, but two, because I was able to be home. I was able to be with them. And I was able to be there for her funeral and make it concrete that she was gone. What is not gone, and it's probably going to take me considerably longer, is the amount of anger I have at the entire situation. Because the professionals that were supposed to be helping didn't. Whether through neglect, whether they actually enabled worse things to happen. They failed. And my family paid the price. My family is not alone in this. So if you see something, say it. You don't always have to be blunt, because sometimes it's known that victims don't always want to acknowledge. So here's one tidbit that I know for sure, thanks to the psychology piece and studies shown. If you want to help someone in this situation, if you see it, do not badmouth their partner, because then they will defend them. And because they're defending them, they will rationalize and excuse, and they will stay. Instead, provide support in other ways. Talk to them, try to help them find a better perspective to be able to look at things for real, and always keep that door open for whether it needs to be radical action or simple action. But if you don't ever do that, they're going to drown on their own, and they may lose their life. Whether it's from violence that ends in death, or whether it's violence every day that makes their life worse. I'm not asking to do it for me. I'm asking to do it for Kaylee, so you don't have a Kaylee in your family. I will continue to talk about hard topics, and I'm not going to hide from them. Because no matter what, I know that my family and you have got my six, and I've got yours.